There is nothing that God will bring to you that you cannot handle. When I was little, I used to hear this all the time. My grandmother used to repeat it to people who were going through a rough patch in their life. I didn't really understand this message, but then again, I was never really listening. It wasn't until this year that I fully understood what she was trying to say. My grandmother has been through a great deal, but her strengths, smarts, bravery, and determination have guided her through the darkest part of her life. This is why her life has influenced mine in a great way. Today I will be talking about my grandmother's life and the lessons I have learned from her. To begin, always keep your head up regardless of what life may throw at you. Always be strong. My grandmother was born to a poor family. They were so poor that they couldn't afford to buy her shoes. All the kids laughed at her, they mocked her, but she kept her head up and never let it get to her. When she was older, she was shunned from her community because in the small town of Zaragoza, they were allowed to choose their husbands. It was custom that their father would choose who they would marry. When she was 28, her parents died in a fire the same week her baby passed away. Throughout all this, she kept her faith and she also kept her strength. Being strong was not the only characteristic my grandmother has, though. She's also very smart. When she was young, because her family was poor, they couldn't afford to send her to school. This didn't stop her, though. Every year after school was out, she would go to the local school, dig out the workbooks from the trash can, take them home, study them. By doing this, she was able to get into high school and graduate top of her class. Perhaps being smart and bravery are a package deal. When my grandmother was 10 years old, she awoke with a snake on her bed. She did not run, she did not scream. She simply got a pot, covered it, and waited till her dad got home. About 5 years ago, she was on a bus and some men were trying to rob it. Well, when they were done taking everyone's money and valuables, they decided to take a woman as well. This woman had a young son, and they were going to leave him behind. My grandmother didn't like that, and instead she offered herself instead of the woman. She gladly got in the truck and drove away with them and was dropped off 10 miles out of her town unharmed. About 3 years ago, she was diagnosed with uterine cancer, and while everyone was telling her that she was too old for chemo and surgery, she decided to go through with it anyway, and she is now cancer-free. After all that, you would think an older woman would be done and tired, but not my grandmother. She walks 5 miles every day, volunteers at a church, and even runs a youth group that encourages friendliness, God, and school. She does a lot for her community. There are plenty of other stories, but I'm sure by now you understand why she lives by, there is nothing God will bring to you that you cannot handle. Most people don't know what it's like to not own shoes, or even get kidnapped by men, but my grandmother does, and she's endured this and many other obstacles in her lifetime. Today I shared with you my grandmother's influential characteristics, including smart, brave, determined, and strong. Thanks to her, I now have a better life. I am encouraged to live life to the fullest like my grandmother. I'm encouraged to stay healthy. I'm encouraged to be smarter, to be stronger, to be happier, more determined, and her life has influenced mine in an amazing way. Thank you.